And a radio mulando vata na ngauna sa sivitonga na vana rosa nga vulu kavana miniti me bakawa vakarita katikania. Nanda vulangin to kai tikoni kua Ms Florence Ndedi na immigration attorney. Ando benga rabitiko bakalewi Oakland, California. Kanda baka binibinaka tiko. We are so thankful, Ms. Ndedi, that you're here with us today, that you're able to help us out here in our community on our platform, Radio Mbulando Vata. Thank you for being here with us.
You're welcome.
Before we start, I would like to just ask you to introduce yourself again and kind of just say hello to our listeners that are tuning in this evening.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Florence Ndedi, and I help immigrants secure their status in the United States. So my office is located in Oakland, California, and I have been practicing immigration law for almost 16 years now. So mbula vinaka to Fiji.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you've been to Fiji, right?
No, I was gonna go to Fiji in 2020 in October, but then COVID hit, so I have not been able to make it, but I'm soon gonna come to Fiji
You
again.
have to.
Yeah, I try.
You have to. Thank you. Thank you again for being here with us. And I know that this is very broad. Immigration is very broad. And I know also that you can help us with a whole lot of things apart from immigration, being here as immigrants in a huge country, in a new country. And I'm sure that you can also help us in the, a whole lot of other areas in terms of the law and our rights as immigrants being here in this big country. So where are you originally from, Ms. Ndedi, if I may ask?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Africa, from a small country called Cameroon. We are
Cameroon.
mostly known for our soccer team because we have some of the best soccer players in the world,
Mm-hmm.
especially playing in the European championships for soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. And I understand that you also have quite a number of Fijians that you've helped here in California.
Yes, yes. I help a lot of Fijians. That's what I'm saying, that Fijians are my people. That's why I really wanted to go to Fiji. And I've been eating Fijian food. I have some of my best friends who are
Mm-hmm.
Fijians.
Mm-hmm.
I have helped a lot of Fijians cross over, come in
Uh-huh.
the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Some others who are here who came kind of in difficult situations.
Mm-hmm.
We've been able to work together and secure their green cards, their citizenships, and various other benefits,
Mm-hmm.
immigration benefits.
Great.
So we are not going to stop now. We're still doing it,
Yes,
still
that's
helping, looking forward to help more people.
great. So, like I said, immigration is very broad, and I am just grateful that you're willing to come on the show at least twice a month, if not every week. So, for that, I am grateful here just to help out people. And just looking at the information that you sent me, if I may read through it quickly, just for the sake of our listeners. So, you help with asylum, citizenship, deportation, work permits, DACA, travel documents, VAWA, is that how it's pronounced?
Yes, VAWA.
VAWA, and the fiance visa, green card, change of status, religious worker appeals, human trafficking, extension of stay, family petition, and many, many more. Um, Again, it is very broad. So, what would you like to touch on today? What can we start with?
Well, I believe that based on the many people I have been talking to, and I've seen a lot of people miss the opportunities
Mm-hmm.
whereby the opportunity was there. So I rather talk about the EU visa.
Okay.
Yes, because this is a very, I would say it's not very known. And some people have had the opportunity to have it,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't know that they qualified. So the opportunity passed. And, so your visa is, just to tell you more broadly,
Mm-hmm.
it's the opportunity immigrants have when they have been a victim of a crime.
Okay.
So there are listed crimes that the government, has in place for people to, if they have been a victim of, and I don't wish anyone to be a victim of any crime, but
Don't go
things
being a victim, right?
things that happen. We are in the United States, we are in the world,
Mm-hmm.
there's evil out there.
Mm-hmm.
So people need to know that if they become a victim of things like domestic violence, rape,
Mm-hmm.
um, felonious assault,
Assault. Wow.
assault,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. They can easily, qualify as long as they let the police know. So one of the main requirement, and which is the requirement that I've seen many people miss, the chance, is
Mm-hmm.
because they did not call the police.
That's so
They
true.
are like, I'm afraid. I was illegal. I'm illegal. I'm undocumented. I'm an overstay. So I was afraid to call the police because if I had called the police, maybe they would arrest me.
Mm.
So that's why a lot of them miss the opportunity, and it's very sad because you don't have to be documented. You don't have to be in legal status to
Mm-hmm.
call the police. Yes.
Wow, that's such an eye opener, and I hope that our people are listening in, and will take this to heart because I know just working with the community that's the biggest fear, right? Like you mentioned, undocumented, I'm illegal, I'm here, I'm not supposed to be working, I'm here working, and this has happened to me, so then I won't even call the cops, or I didn't even think to call the cops, right? Because of those fears. Au nui taka ni sana matata tiko ya, senga ni dona kai ndondon me waka tawa te ki kenta tono ndo to lako ani se me tongirita na visa, ke waka ya the dona kai, waka tukuna tiko Ms Ndedi, assault, rape, or even like domestic violence, right? Domestic
Yes, and
violence,
many
those.
more. And there
Mm-hmm.
are many other cases. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
robbery,
Mm-hmm.
people walking on the street and somebody even just threaten to rob you. Give me
Mm-hmm.
your phone, give me your wallet,
Mm.
and things like that. I've helped a couple of Fijians with cases like that, and they had their papers through that way. So
Mm-hmm.
it works. It works. Yeah, as long as you do the right thing on your end, which is to call the police.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And so let's go deeper into that, right?
Yeah.
Let's kind of unpack that a little. So, where's you mentioned the assault, the domestic violence, robbery, and there's many more, like you said. So
Yeah.
then, are we talking about someone? Let's say someone just came here on a tourist visa. Someone is just here,
Mhm.
maybe visiting friends, and decided to like go do caregiving because that's what our people do, right? We go do
Yes.
caregiving, and then one day they become victims of those things and they're just here visiting. Are you saying that that gives them grounds to come and see you and be able to file for the U visa?
Yes, absolutely. As
Awesome.
long as they make their part, which is to call the police,
Call the
because
police.
we will need the police report.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you. That just reminded me. I had this conversation with this uh, lady a few weeks back, and she did mention that it had to do with work. I don't want to go deep into that, but it had to do with work. And she said, and you know what? They told me, like the attorney that she's dealing with on a totally different issue. It was not even immigration. It wasn't even an immigration attorney that she was dealing with. And they told her, like, this is grounds for you to be able to file for your immigration status to be changed and become a permanent resident. So, thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else that our people need to be aware of that would help them to file for the
Yeah.
U visa? Or like, is
Yeah.
there a time frame?
No, there's no time frame. So I have heard someone, and talking about time frame, the crime was committed in a soccer field. Just to give you an example, he
Mm-hmm.
was playing soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fight, players, they're
Mm-hmm.
rough sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what happened, but one of the players assaulted him on the field and he was on the ground and the ear was bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
And other people have to hold to that, kind
Mm-hmm.
of stop that assailant
Mm-hmm.
because he could have really hurt him badly. But thank God the police came and they took a police report. And this is something that happened maybe in 2002 or 2003.
Oh,
But
wow.
when this person found out about the U visa,
Mm-hmm.
he came to see me. And that was like 2014 or 15. So just to tell you, it's several years later,
More
but we
than
were
10
still
years
able to
later.
manage. Yes, he came to see me several years later. We managed to get him his papers, his green card, and everything. So time doesn't really matter per se. They're mostly looking at how this affected you physically or
Mm-hmm.
mentally.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And also, like I was mentioning, your legal status doesn't matter in this case. You are a victim of a crime.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't buy that crime. You didn't put yourself into that.
Mm-hmm.
Things just happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please, you have to call the police. Do
Mm-hmm.
your report, do your police report, and then let the lawyer do their work after that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is whether you know the person, and I mean, it's worth mentioning that even if you don't know the
The
person who
assailant.
attacked you,
Mm-hmm.
taking the case of someone on the street who robs you, you don't know that robber, you don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
He just attacks you on the street, and then um, as long as you make your police report, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know if they ask, and then you are helpful to the investigation, meaning that if the police want you to come back to see them and they have a lineup, do you identify anyone here?
Mm-hmm.
Just go do your part.
Mm-hmm.
Answer all their questions. Describe the person as much as you can because some of these crimes happen at night. So you
Mm-hmm.
might not be able to really identify the person clearly, but do your part
Mm-hmm.
and show that you really want this case to move forward. Yes.
Interesting. What about someone, let's say they live together, um, you know, our people, we come and we help each other out. Like a few of us can get together and share rent, right? We're all living in the same apartment or same house. And then something happens, like a fight breaks out, and everyone that's involved do not have papers. Is that, and then it got so bad that I decided to call the police. Would that guarantee me the U visa? Or at
It's
least.
called it's called domestic violence. Anytime people live together under the same roof,
Mm-hmm.
it's domestic violence, whether they're married or not, whether they're just roommates or friends staying together,
Mm-hmm.
it's still a domestic violence. If somebody got injured, somebody got hurt in a fight like this,
Mm-hmm.
yes, the person needs to call the police
Mm-hmm.
and kind of help in the investigation because you don't want to hide anything to the police. If you call them, tell them the truth. Who hit you? Who did this to you? Tell the name of the person if you know the person
Mm-hmm.
and let the police do their part. They might decide to arrest the person
Mm-hmm.
or they might not. We don't know. As that part depends on the police. But you've done your part. Your
Mm-hmm.
part was to call, your part was to complain
Mm-hmm.
that you got injured, that somebody assaulted you.
Mm-hmm.
And then yes, we can take it from there and apply for your U visa.
Great. Thank you so much. So I am thinking, what if someone was, you're involved with a person, you're involved like a relationship, romantically,
Mhm.
regardless. Are you saying that regardless of whether that other person has permanent residency or not, and you're
Mhm.
here, and let's just say it doesn't get to the point where it's physical abuse, but it's more like verbal abuse, like there's so, because most of us get into those kind of situation where it's the abuse is just verbally, but it's really bad.
So verbal abuse, unfortunately, is
Mm-hmm.
not listed among
Mm-hmm.
the crimes.
Okay.
Okay. So it has to involve some physical touching. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
physical touch
Mm-hmm.
or even a threat of assault. And let's say somebody threatened you with a knife or a glass
Mm-hmm.
or a plate. He's trying to throw it at you, you dodge it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to stay there. You run away, run out to save your life.
Right.
And then you have the right to call the police, and it's considered domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, yes, you can apply for U visa. It's a perfect ground. I've had a lot of cases like that of
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend, girlfriends,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes a husband and wife,
Mm-hmm.
if the husband is trying to beat up his wife,
Mm-hmm.
it's your visa right there. Now, I need to make a little difference here, a little
Mm-hmm.
differentiation is that when they are married
Mm-hmm.
and that the husband, let's say, has a green card or
Mm-hmm.
he's a citizen, I'm sorry, women beat up men too, okay? I'm just taking for the sake of
Mm-hmm.
the show,
Yes.
I'm just taking the example of the person who is usually stronger, which is a man. But sometimes I have cases of the opposite. I've had VAWA cases or U visa case where is the woman who was the aggressor,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So
Mm-hmm.
it happened both ways. So when they are married and one of them, for example, has a green card
Mm-hmm.
or a citizenship, the husband is citizen or has a green card, but the wife is undocumented.
Mm-hmm.
At that case, we cross now to VAWA. It becomes a VAWA case, which Violence Against Women Act. It's a law that came out in 2000. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so now with a VAWA, it acts just like a U visa. The only difference is that in the VAWA case, the two people are married and they have the aggressor has his papers.
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen cases where the aggressor had the paper, the husband has the papers,
Mm-hmm.
and abusing and threatening the other one and blackmailing the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you don't do so, I'm not going to file for you.
Right.
So I want you to pay me this. I want you to wash my dishes this way. I want you to do, this type of abuse. And that abuse at this point can be also mental. It doesn't have to be physical
Physical.
at this point.
Okay.
Okay. For your visa, it can be threat, but for VAWA, it doesn't even have to be physical. If someone has subjected you to so much mental abuse,
Mm-hmm.
and all the threats, the blackmailing, and
Mm-hmm.
everything that goes together because he's in a position of power
Right.
and threatening you every day. Oh, if you don't do so, I'm going to call the cop on you. Oh, I'm going to call immigration on you. They're
Right.
going to deport you. Oh, yeah. For this type of cases, they qualify for under the Violence Against Women Act because they are married.
Wow. That's interesting.
One
So
of them has papers. Yeah.
great. Thank you. So you said this came out in 2000. So let's say somebody, because I know of a few couples that were married like, before 2000. And
Yes.
they had been, let's say they were going through that. And so the the girl, it's mostly the women, right? It's mostly the
Yeah.
women
That's
that,
why I'm taking the
yeah,
example of,
yeah,
well, man, sorry. Some of you get beaten up too, but
right.
this
That's
case,
true. So mostly the women, and it's like that this was way before 2000. They're married and then been threatened, and the understanding is, really the understanding is they have to file for my papers. He has to file for my papers. There's no way that I can get my papers unless he starts the process, right? But
yeah.
in this case, I'm grateful that you're sharing that. For those that are listening in, that you do not have to wait for them to file for your papers. As long as there's this kind of abuse, kendo wararaw ta kikimuni, sianga nindondon mo ni wara ki koe me na dhakawa na nomuni pepa. Balete ando na wakasa me ndo tu, o koe wara ki koe me dhakawa nungu pepa. Sianga wakai wakarita katiko Florence, that is grounds for VAWA. You getting your papers on that, on the VAWA Act. And so reach out to Florence and start the process. Anything else? I mean, I'm so grateful for that because I know that there are so many cases out there. And then we'll ask, so did you get your papers? What are you waiting for? Oh no, I'm waiting for him. Like he doesn't want to do it. He's threatening me with this, or even she is threatening me with this. Oh, I won't do your papers. I won't file for your papers because of this. That alone, right, can make them eligible for VAWA.
For power, and like I said, provided that the husband, in this case, has his papers
Right.
and they both are married. Let's say they are married, but none of them has their papers.
Mm-hmm.
We fall under the U visa case,
Mm.
whereby also blackmailing, extortion, like we say, assault,
Mm-hmm.
rape, incest, uh, uh, um, yeah, all of these things, like we
Mm-hmm.
say, robbery will
Mm-hmm.
come into play at that time. Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Thank you.
domestic violence, of course.
Thank you, Florence. Ke mani sono mani wakatataro na bika ki rumai veital no takatika ningo. Ninge wola wola mai o nangai se matiki mani ve Florence. Another question, something that pops up just listening to you going on about VAWA is, or the U visa maybe. What if someone was in Fiji and, they came to the United States, because I know that I have friends too that have done this. They come here because it's like their way out of an abusive marriage, or an abusive relationship that has become so toxic and almost deadly. So, like, they're here and there's police reports back home. They filed for those police reports all those years, and now they are finally able to make it out and they've made it to the United States. Is there anything that they can do to be able to have residency here in the US?
Well, for this type of cases, I usually look into asylum.
Mm,
That's where we can go through their specifics because, as you know,
mm-hmm.
every case is different.
Right.
Okay. But for you, visa of VAWA, the crime must have been committed in the United States or
Got
its
it.
territories.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So people who are coming here because, okay, the abuse took place in Fiji or in another country, they cannot apply for you visa of VAWA.
Mm-hmm.
But because they have to escape for their lives,
Mm-hmm.
they can apply for asylum.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, we're going to go deep into listening to them and seeing what is happening, whether they
Mm-hmm.
can receive the help from the government, what happened,
Mm-hmm.
has the person been arrested, has the person been prosecuted, etc. So there are a lot of details that we need to look into and see whether the government was able to protect them or willingly refused to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like our listeners to be aware of, to know, or be enlightened about, in terms of the U visa or VAWA?
Well, all I want to tell people is that please, ladies or men who are suffering, stop suffering. There's a
Mm,
way out. There is a way out.
there's
You
always a
know,
way out.
there's a way out. The law is there to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things that have been are in place for people like you. So don't stop staying under this abuse, an abusive marriage or abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have escaped, just see the lawyer. I've seen people also who are afraid to call the police. Oh, they're going to arrest my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're going to do this to him. But you
Mm-hmm.
also have to be able to think about yourself for sometimes. So it's a call that you have to make on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody will make that call for you. But
Mm-hmm.
if you are tired of going through an abuse, because I know many women die as victims because they keep tolerating violence in
Mm-hmm.
their marriages, in their relationships, and at the end they're dead.
So
And the
true.
person who did it is alive, maybe in jail somewhere, but you're gonna get out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
So true. Thank you so much, Florence. I know that it's broad, immigration is broad, and I can ask 101 more questions. But my question right now is, do we want to overwhelm our listeners with all of that, or shall we just leave them to, like bite size for today? What do you
I
think?
think for today,
Mm-hmm.
let's pick. We will go through different topics in immigration,
Mm-hmm.
in over the several weeks that are coming. We're going to try to pick one topic of interest and
Yes.
try to develop that. In the meantime,
Mm-hmm.
some people have personal cases, personal questions
Mm-hmm.
that we can't possibly answer here. We
Mm-hmm.
can only give general information.
Mm-hmm.
They can always contact me, and my phone number is available.
Yes.
And yeah, they can contact me. We can schedule a consultation, a one-on-one consultation, and
Mm-hmm.
dig into the specific
Mm-hmm.
and see what we can do to help them. We're here to help. You know,
Yes.
when you choose to become an immigration lawyer, it's because you have a heart for the people. You do it
So
because you
true.
want to help people, immigrants like myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Florence Ndedi, attorney at law, immigration attorney. Thank you for being with us today. We are so grateful that you were able to avail yourself, knowing how busy you are. So we look forward to our next session, hopefully next Friday or the Friday after.
Probably the Friday after.
Friday
We'll
after.
see. We'll see. We'll discuss that.
Okay.
But if there's anyone who has a quick question
Yes.
regarding what we said, and maybe there's something that they didn't completely understand,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we can take a few questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions for today? I know I could see that people are listening, but I don't see any questions for the lady that had reached out earlier. I now kerker ninge tartar ke neve tartareani vat ke Florence ke segandor nge vital notali o tingo menge madalakina na vekaironi dhaka. Membaleta na nomunikisi, yeah? Thank you so much. And if there's anything, reach out to Florence. I will put her phone number on our platform. And if not, you can always reach out to me, and I will connect you with Miss Florence here. Thank you so much, Florence. Uh,
Tanaka, thank you.
Kanaka, you have a good one. And
Thanks, you too.
until next
Bye-bye.
time, thank you.